So, in the preceding class, we have already discussed regarding the intermediate code generation. Then, for the intermediate code generation, how we will represent. So, one of the way was to represent with the help of the three address code. So, first method was the with the help of the syntax tree, we can represent the intermediate code generation with the help of the syntax tree, and another was the three address code. Now the question arises, how we will implement the three address code. So three address code are used to represent the intermediate code generation, but the three address code we can represent either by using quadruples or triples, or we can say indirect triples. So first method for representation of the three address code is using quadruples. So far quadruples means there are four fields. So it is divided into four fields. That is why it is called the quadruples. First is called the operator. Second one is called the argument 1. Third is argument 2. And fourth one is the result. Okay. Whenever we are going to attend several expressions and we want to represent those expressions with the help of three address code, then we use quadruples. Okay, so in quadruples we use the operator argument 1, argument 2 and result. So whatever we are going to save in different temporary variables, here argument 1, argument 2 and the result, these are called the temporary variables. So temporary variables are used to store the value of different arguments. Hello. Okay. So we use the quadruples to represent the three address code. So three address codes are used to represent the intermediate codes. How we will going to develop the intermediate code, then we use the three address code, and for three address code representation, either we can use the quadruples or triples or indirect triples. So we have already discussed regarding the representation of the three address code. First is called the quadruples and another is called the triples. And from the triples, we have another set of representation that is called the indirect triples. Okay, but the main representation criteria are two only. First is called the quadruples and second is called the triples. Okay, so what are the quadruples? We can represent our expression which we have already defined, okay, for which we are going to convert our source program into the machine language. Then that expression we divide into the quadruples. Okay, quadruples, how we are going to divide? In this case, we here use two arguments, arguments 1 and 2, and third one is the operator. Okay, and another variable is called the result variable. Finally, we will assign the result into the result variable, means the third variable. Okay, so the above example is represented below in quadruple form. Now just we are going to consider the here example. One of the example we have already discussed yesterday. So we are considering here C star D, then argument 1 here C. Okay, argument 2 here we will prepare one table, and in that table we can store different expressions. Okay, so how we will prepare for the table? First is called the operator. Okay, in this column we will store the operator symbol. Second one is called the argument 1. This is temporary variable 1. Argument 2, this is temporary variable 2. And result, this is temporary variable 3. Okay, so operator, first we will check that what type of operators are involving in the given expression. Then we will check the priority, to whom we are providing the priority. Okay, so star means the multiplication will get the priority over the plus and minus. Okay, so here we can see this, that the expression is C star D. Okay, so in argument 1 we will write C operand 1, argument 2 operand 2 D, and the result will go in R1. Okay, here the temporary variable for the result is R1. So we are going to store our result in first case, that is C star D, we are going to store into R1. Similarly, we will proceed further and we will choose another variable that is called the R2. Okay, and in that we are going to store the value of R1, and this has addition with the B. Okay, so B plus R1, and that is equal to R2. So R2 we are going to store the value of B plus R1, and we will store into R2. So the result will go into the temporary variable R2. And in the third line, third row, you can see that here R3, another variable, here we will store the summation of R1 plus R2. So these are the dependent on each other. Okay, here we are going to describe R1, R2, R3. These are the temporary variables in which we are going to store the value. Last row, you can see the expression finally is A is equal to R3. Okay, now the expression will be reduced and it is equal to A equal to R3. Okay, final result will go or we can say assign into R3. Okay, so A is equal to R3. Final value will go into the A. Okay, A is equal to R3. So R3 will depend on the values of R1 and R2. So from the expression, we will start to choose various, we can say, temporary variables, and we will start to reduce, and finally you can see that it is equal to A is equal to R3. Okay, so the expression will be reduced finally and will depend on the various temporary variables. Okay, so in this case we can see that there is a reduction of the number of variables. So ultimately there is a reduction in the memory. Okay, so here memory requirement becomes less and the speed of the compiler will enhance. Okay, so why we are going to use the 3 address code? Why we are using the intermediate code generation? Because we want to improve the speed of the compiler, or we can say we are going to implement the efficient compiler. So as a result, we will use the intermediate code generation. Okay, so source program will convert first into the intermediate codes, and then from intermediate code it will convert into the low level language, that is the machine language. So this is the procedure. This is the whole procedure of the compiler, how it is going to process your program and how it is converting your source program into the machine language. Okay, so first we will start from the lexical analysis, and then we will do the syntax analysis. Then we will, third step is the semantic analysis, and after that the input will go to the intermediate code generation. Okay, intermediate code generator, where we will generate different codes, and that codes we will get in the form of either postfix notation or syntax tree or three address code. Okay, so these are the ways in which we will get the output of the intermediate code, and after that this output will go to the synthesis phase. Okay, and ultimately we will get the final output from the compiler. So this is the procedure to convert the source language into the machine language. Okay, so intermediate code generator we will use to enhance the speed of the compiler. Okay, now, for the generation of the intermediate codes, we use the three address code mostly. Okay, and for the representation of the three address code, we can represent three address code either in the form of the quadruples or triples. Okay, so how we will represent in the form of the quadruples? As the name suggests that there will be involvement of the maximum four arguments. Okay, four number of, we can say, including operator. Here we will use four references as the name suggests, quadruples. Okay, then out of four there will be one operator and argument 1, argument 2, and third variable we are here declaring as a result. Now another form to represent the three address code, that is called the triples. Okay, this is called the triples. So each instruction in triples presentation has three fields. Now as the name suggests here, quadruples four fields, triples three fields. Okay, or we can say that three references. Here triples three references, in quadruples four references total including the operator. Okay, so here we are defining of argument 1 and argument 2. Okay, triples means three fields, quadruples means four fields. So try to remember this. So here we will use the operator argument 1, argument 2. So the results of the respective sub expressions are denoted by the position of expression. Triples represents similarity with the DAG. Okay, DAG is what? Directed acyclic graph. Okay, so triples represent similarity with the DAG. Okay, in case of DAG, directed acyclic graph, we can represent our expression in the form of the syntax tree or in the form of the DAG, directed acyclic graph. Okay, so triples has the similarity to the DAG, that is the directed acyclic graph and syntax tree, and DAG is approximate same as the syntax tree. Okay, but what is the difference between the DAG and the syntax tree? Directed acyclic graph, here if there is a repetition of any expression, then with the help of the link we will use the same link towards the node. Okay, here we are not going to write the nodes again and again. Okay, we are not elaborating. In syntax tree we can elaborate our expression, but directed acyclic graph we can say it is the compact form of the syntax tree. Okay, if there is a redundancy, then we can remove using the directed acyclic graph. What type of redundancy? If there is a repetition of any expression or any operator, suppose C plus, in any expression we have C plus D, suppose we have the expression like A plus B, C plus D, and another expression have the connectivity and C plus D is common again. Okay, or maybe in the same expression there is an involvement of any expression again and again, then how we will remove that? Okay, how we will remove the redundancy if there is a common of sub expression? Then in the syntax tree we cannot do such type of activity, but with the help of the directed acyclic graph we can remove the redundancy or we can remove the repetition of any expression. Okay, So the DAG, directed acyclic graph, it is somewhat same to the syntax tree, but DAG is the compact form of the syntax tree. Okay, or we can say compressed form of the syntax tree. Now, if we will consider the same example as you have considered yesterday, then how we will indicate with the help of the triples. Okay. Now again we will form or prepare a table, and in this case we will use first column as the operator. Okay. OP, we will write OP, and first is called the argument 1. This is the temporary variables. Argument 2, another temporary variables. Okay. And from the expression, given expression in the problem, we are going to choose star. Okay. Then because we are going to solve the multiplication expression first due to the priority over the plus and minus. Okay. So we will solve C star D is given in the problem. Then in the first line, or we can say in the first row, we will write like this. You can see operator star, argument 1 means C, operand first will come here, argument 2 D. Okay, so this is the finishing of first statement. Okay, and another one here in the preceding slide, we have already seen that we have written argument 2 as R1. Okay. But here in case of triples, we will write in place of R1 only the position. Okay. Position means line number. We will indicate it by line number. The first row is called the line number 0. Okay. Second row is called the line number 1. Third row is called the line number 2. Okay. So in this manner, we can divide our table. Okay. Or our expression. So in case of triples, just we are replacing the temporary variable by line number. Okay. So by line number, here we will write first row as it is. Okay. Star CD, argument 1 C, argument 2 C. Second row you can see plus operator will come as plus argument 1 B, and argument 2 here we will write the line number. Okay. So this is 0. 0 means this is line number. Okay. So in place of R1, here we will write 0. Okay. So take care of this, and this 0 we will write using these braces. Okay. So inside the braces, we are representing the line number 0. And which is the line number 0? This one. Okay. So we are not going to store into R1 because this is dependent only over the quadruples. Okay. From the quadruples, we can see that we have already shown this by R1. Okay. So what is the R1? R1 is the temporary variable 1. Now you can see in this case, okay, this was R1 because C star D we are going to store into R1, and this is called the line number 0, line number 1, line number 2, and line number 3, or we can say so on. Okay, so this is line number 0. Here in place of R1, we will write as 0. So this is line number 0. Okay. Now come to the third row. So third row, you can see here, third row is the R2, R1, and this is then we are going to the third variable R3. Now you can see here the third line. Here we will write 1. Okay, here it will come again. This is 0. Okay, just we are replacing the line number 0 and 1. Now you can see already. So in place of R, we will write what 0, and in place of R, we can write 1. Okay, line number 0, line number 1. And this is the line number. Okay, so here we will write 2. Okay, so this is the way. So with the help of now triple face the problem of code immovability while optimization, as the results are positional and changing the order or position of an expression may cause problem. So in case of triples, we will use the position. Okay, in place of the in case of the quadruples, we defined the different temporary variables, but in case of triples, we will use here positions. Okay, in place of R1 we will use line 0, in place of R2 we will use line number 1, and in place of R3 we will use the line number 3. Okay, so we can indicate with the help of the triples, just we will write only the position. So this is the difference between the triples and indirect triples. We can represent the 3 address code in this form. Okay, using the triples and indirect triples, and using the quadruples and triples. But in case of indirect triples, we will not use here 3 columns or 4 columns. Okay, here we will write directly the position of the pointer. Okay, what is the position of the pointer? So we can say this representation is an enhancement over the triple representation. So this is nothing but enhancement of the triple representation. Okay, so here we will use the pointer and we will show only the pointer position, nothing else. So with the help of 2 columns, we can represent the indirect triples. In the first column, we will write the line number, and in the second column, we will write value of the indirect triples. So we can represent as we will write line number 0, 1, 2, 3, and another column we can write 0, 1, 2, 3, same value. Okay, same value we will write in both the columns, and that is called the indirect triples. So in this case, just we will use the pointers only. So this is not so much difficult to understand. It is easy to use the 3 address code with the help of the quadruples, and we can say triples. Now another is called the Boolean expression. What is the Boolean expression? You are already aware. It has only 2 logical values. Okay, 0 or 1. Okay, and this we can use in the conditional expression using if then else or while do. So we will use only those. Here we can say various loops, either if then else or while do. Okay, so that here we can take the decision of true or false. So such type of things is called the Boolean expressions. Okay, so in Boolean expressions we can use either if then else or the while do. Now this is the given grammar. Consider the grammar E is equal to E or E. Okay, or is the here logic, you can say that logical or. E we can represent by E or E. Okay, another E, we can write E and E. Okay, so logical or and logical and third one is the not E, reverse of expression this. So we can also write E within the braces, again the expression. Okay, within. So now we can see here E is equal to ID relational operator ID. This is the identifier. So this is the value of the expression. It may be E or E, it may be E and E, it may be not E, or expression within the braces. We can also write any expression within the braces, or E may be identifier, relational operator and identifier. Okay, we can use any relational operator between two identifiers, or in place of E we can write true or false. Okay, so consider the grammar. This is given. The relational operator reloop is denoted by less or greater here, or not equal to. So there are several, you are already aware by the relational operator, maybe less than, equal to, greater than, equal to, etc. Okay, so this is the given grammar. Now we are, how we will represent this. Okay, what will be the semantic action for this? So this is called the production rule. Okay, in the on the screen you can see here, we can write the given grammar as E is equal to E1 or E2. Okay, here E1 or E2. Now, what will be the semantic action for this? The semantic action, we can write this as here emit E dot place equal E1 dot place or E2. Okay, so what will be the semantic action for this? We have already studied. We can replace E1 dot, okay, E1 by E1 dot place or E2 dot place. So this is the logic to write the semantic action. Okay, here we will write the emit. Okay, it is a sort of function emit, and then E dot place equal E1 dot place, and this will logic gate will come here and E2 dot place. Okay, so this is the semantic action for this, for the particular production rule. This is called the various production rule, and these are called the semantic action for that particular production rule. Okay, how we will write the semantic action? So this is the proper grammar to write the semantic action. Similarly, you can see another one, E is equal to E1 plus E2. Okay, so we will write here emit E dot place, same pattern. Okay, on the same pattern, we can write here E1 dot place, and here the AND operation will come E2 dot place. Okay, so if we will write the production rule in this form, then this is called the semantic action. Okay, so we can connect with the help of the dot. Okay, similarly, not even. Now you can see here emit E dot place, not even dot place. Okay, so you will write in the similar way, but you can replace here even by even place, even dot place. Similarly, if there is the involvement of another expression E2, then E2 dot place. Okay, if we are going to change even dot place, E2 by E2 dot place, okay, then this is called the semantic action. So in this way, we can represent it as semantic action. Now you can write easily for other one. Okay, so go through this table. Now the and or are left associated. Not has the higher precedence than and lastly or. Now if we will compare the and or not, okay, then not has the higher precedent, higher priority over the other logic gates. Okay, in context to the compiler design. I am not talking in context to the digital electronics, but in context to the compiler design, the NOT has the higher precedence. Okay, if any expression, if and some expression are given and using and or operation, and there is not is also available, then first we will solve for the not logic. Okay, so not has the higher precedence, higher priority than and or. Okay, so first we will solve for the not, then and, then or. Okay, the emit function is used to generate the three address code. Okay, in the last slide we use emit function. Okay, here during the semantic action we use emit. Okay, so the emit function, it is a sort of function, is used to generate the three address code. So emit generates, if we will use the emit function, then it will generate the three address code. And the new temp function is used to generate the temporary variable. Here you can see new temp e dot place is equal to new temp, it is written here. Then this is used to generate the temporary variables. Okay, so whenever we will write the semantic action of any production rule, then we can indicate, okay, in this manner. In the last slide we have shown you, so go through the table and try to remember that. So third point here is the E expression ID reload ID. Okay, here it will come ID1 reload ID2 contains the next state and it gives the index of next three address statements in the output sequence. So if we will form this expression with the help of the ID1 relational operator ID2, it may be ID1. Okay, if we are using the initial here ID and then ID1, then ID2, then if we are going to combine this ID with the ID2, that is the third one identifier. Okay, we are going to start to declare identifier as ID, then ID1, then ID2, and we are going to use ID reload ID2. Okay, the initial identifier we are going to relational operator. Here we will use the relational operator and we are going to combine with the id to contains the next state. So after using relational operator with the initial and the final identifier, then it will give the next state and it gives the index of next three address statements in the output sequence. Okay, so in this manner we can calculate the next state. Okay, postfix translation. What is this? So this notation is called the postfix because the rule is operator after the operand. So we have already discussed this postfix notation. So similarly, we can say postfix translation. So in this case, again we will use the operator symbol at the end after the operand. Okay, we have used already the expression a plus b, and if we will write the postfix for this, then it will come as the a b plus. Okay, so postfix notation, or we can say the postfix translation, it will translate the various expression in this form. Okay, so the operator will come after the operands, so parentheses are not needed here. The notation we normally use is called the infix. If we are using the notation in the similar way, that is if we are going to write a plus b, this expression, then it is called the infix. Okay, if you start with an infix expression, the following algorithm will give you the equivalent postfix expression. So this, in this manner we can change the postfix notation, or we can write in the form of the postfix notation. Now variables and constants are left alone. E, you can see here expression OPF. Okay, another expression, this is operator, becomes, if we will write the postfix, then it will become E dash, F dash, and the OP will come at the end. Operator will come at the end. Okay, where E dash, F dash are the postfix of the E and F respectively. We can change the value of the operand here. Okay, as it will be provided in the given expression. So we can replace the value. So after replacing the value, then we can indicate here as the E dash F dash OP. So this is the way to write the postfix. Okay, E becomes E dash. Okay, where E dash is the postfix of E. Okay, so as we will change the value, so here we can indicate it by E dash. Okay, similarly in this case also E dash F dash. So this is the way. One question is given here, say 1 plus 2 minus 3. So what is E and what is F and what is OP? Okay. Then this is, you can think over, does E is equal to 1 plus T, F is equal to 3 and OP is equal to plus F. Okay. Or does E is equal to 1? We are considering here, this is the given expression. So either we can choose the value of E and F and OP from here as 1 plus 2, or we can choose E is equal to 1. So there are two ways. So in two methods, we can use this value and calculate the value of this expression. Okay. So here we will apply the precedence. Okay. Now I have already taken your attendance and we will start our class after the rest of 5 minutes.